The first session on history and introduction to Lean Six Sigma. I will also recall some important points about quality and then introduce you with the concept of Lean as well as Six Sigma. So what is quality? Simply stated, quality comes from meeting customer requirements. For example, all of you have joined this program, right? And you have come with some expectations. If all your expectations are fulfilled by attending this training program, then I will definitely say the training program quality is top class, even world class, because all my customers are happy. So quality is meeting customers' requirement. But how do you ensure you meet your customers' requirement? You need to do 4 activities. The first thing, understand your customers' requirement. That is what we did in the beginning, right? We wanted all of you to let us know on your expectations. So that's the first step we should always do when we are on a drive to make our quality world class. So what kind of approach you follow to understand your customer requirement, and what kind of tools and techniques you use to understand your customer requirement, that goes a long way, in helping you correctly understand your customers' requirements. So that is the first step. And imagine you have the set of customer requirement. Now it is time for you to proceed and design products and services. Design products and services, which are actually capable of meeting your customers' requirement. Now the second step is designing. And after designing a product or after designing a service, what will you do? You actually create a prototype. And why do you create a prototype? Because you wanted to be sure that your product meets the customer requirement. So you'll compare your prototype specifications with the customer requirement. If there is no gap, your design is really great, right? But once the design is done, your goal is not just to make the prototype. Your goal is actually to mass produce the product and mass offer your services to a big set of customers who are called your customer segment, isn't it? So how do you mass produce your products or mass offer your services? By developing processes. By developing processes that are capable of delivering the products, that are capable of offering the services, meeting your customers' requirement, right? If you ask me, any organization is a set of n number of processes, isn't it? Say, for example, our training program. Here also you can see number of processes. Like we are all training you. We are teaching you, right? Teaching is a process, and all of you are learning, and that's a learning process. And then there is going to be an assessment, which is also a process, right? And then registration of the candidates, that is also a process, right? Marketing, everything is a process. Similarly, any product or any service, you can immediately figure out, so many processes. So what is most important is your processes have to be capable of, delivering the products, capable of delivering the services in line with the customer requirement, right? And so that is the third step. And then the last important step, I have captured the customer requirement. I have designed the products and services. Now I developed the processes and I do a trial run of the process. My products are coming out to be very good. My customers are completely satisfied. But what is very important is, as time passes, as the demand increases, I mean, over time, over demand, your process will start deteriorating. Hope all of you agree with me, isn't it? For example, right now, all of you are learning, undergoing the course. Your understanding on the Six Sigma is definitely going to be enriched. You will understand a lot of statistical tools and techniques. But what will happen after 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 years, right? You will start forgetting some of the learnings, isn't it? So this is a general tendency. This is a general tendency. Similarly, any business process will also deteriorate, and this deterioration will bring down your capability. And why there is a deterioration? The equipments can undergo wear and tear. The operators can change. The machine settings can change, right? environmental conditions can change. There are many things, even the controllable factor and uncontrollable factor, and all of them can change, and finally leading to pulling down of your capability. And that is why organization require managers like all of you. That is why organization requires managers and leaders like all of you. So what is your prime responsibility? Your prime responsibility is to ensure that you manage all the processes, you manage all the critical processes and control all the critical processes, no, to operate with the preferred level of capability, so that the results from the processes are always consistent. The results from the processes are always consistent. Consistent as well as good in meeting the customer requirement. So these are the 4 important activities any organization has to do. If the organization can do these 4 activities perfectly, and if the organization can use these 4 activities using the most appropriate tools and techniques, and definitely the quality of the products and services offered by the organization will be top class, right? So now what we understood is the process is the key, isn't it? So process improvement is the key to quality improvement. If at all you are interested in improving the quality, then the approach should be process improvement. So imagine you are having a tree. You have grown a tree, which is orange tree. And now what this tree is capable of? The tree is capable of producing oranges. Now what do you actually require now is you require apple. And now tell me, will you be able to produce apple from the same tree? It's not going to produce apple, right? An orange tree can only give you orange. If you really want apple, then you have to grow a new tree, isn't it? An apple tree, right? Which means if you want to change the fruit, then you have to change the root. This is what is called process improvement approach. If you want to change the business results, then you have to change the business process, right? And making positive changes is called process improvement. So all of us are one way or other way, we're all responsible for this particular job only. What is this job? Process improvement. We improve the process, thereby the business results improve. And this is what Six Sigma or Lean Six Sigma calls it as process-centric approach. And mathematically, it is termed as y is equal to f of x. Now, what is y? The result we want to improve. What is y? The result we want to improve or the problem we want to solve. Y is mathematically called a dependent variable. Y is mathematically called a dependent variable, right? And we call it dependent variable because the value of y depends on several other factors called x factors. The value of y the value of y depends on several other factors called the x factors. X factors are nothing but the inputs that goes into the process. X factors are nothing but the conditions at which the process operates. So the inputs and the process conditions are considered the x factors, right? And mathematically, the x factors are called independent variable. Why do I call it independent variable? I can fix any of them directly. For example, my process should operate at let's say the temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. Now I will set the temperature for 25 degrees Celsius. My cutting tool angle should be 14.5 degrees. I'll set my cutting tool at an angle of 14.5 degrees. So all these things I can do, right? Whatever changes that are possible, if I can make it directly, then I must understand that the factor is an independent factor. The factor is an independent factor, or the variable is independent variable. You can call it as X factor. But there are certain things which I can't set it directly, right? For example, the Y variable. Let's say I'm producing a product, let's say which is an aluminum casting. The strength of the aluminum casting is important. I wanted to increase the strength of the aluminum casting. Do you think I can straight away fix the strength the way I want? No, it is difficult. Then I need to study the process. I need to study about the ingredient. I need to study about the process condition. Only when I when I tune them properly, the strength of the castings, strength of the aluminum material will improve, right? And that's why we call Y variable as dependent variable. It depends on several other X factor, right? This is called process centric approach. The whole course is, to equip you thoroughly understand how to optimize the X, thereby you can optimize your Y. What is your Y? The business result. What is your why? The problems you wanted to solve. The quality problems that you wanted to solve, they're all represented by the Y variable. And how do I fix the Y variable? By fixing the X variable, right? And in order to do this job, we need to learn little statistics. Statistics is all about understanding the relationship between X variable and Y variable. If you know the relationship, then you can tune them properly. You can tune the X and that will tune your Y, right? This is called process centric approach or process improvement approach. So process has two parameters. Process has two parameters. One is effectiveness, another one is efficiency. First of all, what is a process? Process means a set of activities. Process means a set of activities performed over a specified conditions by which you convert all the inputs into desired form of outputs. A process means set of activities that you perform under specified conditions and to convert all the inputs into desired form of outputs. And how is your process actually performing? If you want to understand, then you need to understand two things, two parameters. One is process effectiveness. Another one is process efficiency. So what is a process effectiveness? The ability of your process to meet the requirements of your customer is called effectiveness. Imagine you are going to a coffee shop. You are ordering a coffee, right? You are ordering a coffee and the coffee is served to you. And you liked the coffee very much. You liked the coffee very much. And then you paid for it and you came back. And here what happened? The coffee making process is considered to be very effective. You know why? Because the customers are happy with the taste of the coffee, happy with the features of the coffee, and they were paying for it very happily. And this is called process effectiveness. This is called process effectiveness. Suppose if you order for a product, like the coffee, you order for a product, and the product comes with the desired quality, desired features, then the process is really effective. But if the product you receive is not as per the spec, then what do we say? The process is ineffective. The process is ineffective. Hope all of you understand what is process effectiveness. The ability of a process to produce products conforming to the requirements is called process effectiveness. And there is one more terminology which is called process efficiency. So what is process efficiency? How do you produce your product, or how do you prepare your coffee, right? And that will talk about your efficiency. Imagine you are going to the same restaurant, you are ordering a coffee, and you are offered a coffee after making you wait for 40 minutes in the restaurant. How much time they made you to wait? They made you to wait for 40 minutes. But after 40 minutes, they offered a coffee which you liked it. And now tell me, what is the problem with the process? Is that the problem with the process is related to effectiveness or related to efficiency? Coffee is good, but only problem is that has been offered to you after making you wait for 40 minutes. That means problem is not with the effectiveness, but with the efficiency. They took more time. They took more time to process your order, to prepare your coffee, and then offer you a coffee, right? So coffee not tasting good is an effectiveness problem. Coffee not tasting good is an effectiveness problem. But coffee, offered, after a long period of time is an efficiency problem, right? Or maybe if you feel like, the cost of the coffee is too high, and that is also considered an efficiency problem, right? Hope all of you understand, know the difference between the effectiveness and the efficiency. And please note, in any business, with respect to any product or service, effectiveness can never be compromised. Effectiveness can never be compromised. At the same time, efficiency must be optimized, isn't it? Say, for example, after undergoing the training program, if you are not able to clear the certification exam, how many of you will tolerate? None of you will tolerate, isn't it? So everyone, each one of you here would like to comfortably qualify for the certification and become a green belt or black belt or something, isn't it? And so that means always the effectiveness cannot be compromised, right? Any defect in the product, yes, nobody is willing to tolerate. At the same time, and so producing products conforming to the requirement will make your customers happy, But at the same time, it is important for us to make our business also happy, right? When we make our business, how can we make our business happy? By working efficiently. We will consume only the exactly required resources to produce any product or service. Then our business will also be happier. If you make your customers happy, they'll start buying your product. The revenue will start flowing. If you make your business also happy with the way, with the way you work, you work efficiently, then what will happen? Your profit will also get maximized. So both are important for any business. So effectiveness should not be compromised. At the same time, efficiency must be optimized without losing the effectiveness. Hope it is clear. So any questions here?